3, 2, 1.
So, this morning, I want to talk about you. And me. All of us, actually. I want to tell you, remind you maybe, because maybe you knew before and you've kind of forgotten, things got in the way, etc., that you are the light of your world. You. Not your mom, not even your dad on Father's Day, not your teacher, not any clergy that you might be in contact with, not your spouse or significant other or your bestie. You. You are the light of your world. It is only through the light that shines within you as the divine you, because each of us is divine, that any and all thoughts and things shine bright. Only through you, light, your light, you are the anointed one at birth to shine this divine light that is within you, that is individualized in you. Remember our beliefs. We don't say these out loud too often, at least not in a specific way. We talk about them a lot, but I want to bring out and say what our beliefs are. Do you remember these? We believe in God, or whatever you want to call that power, the living Spirit Almighty, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. This one energy, power, and presence manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe is the body of divine intelligence. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of spirit. We believe in the individualization of the Spirit in us, and that all people are individualizations of that one Spirit, that one power, that one energy. We believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual, of you and me, the individual soul, forever and ever expanding. Our highest self, our deepest self, always expanding forever and ever, whether we are in this vehicle, in this body, or not. We believe that heaven, that heaven is within us, and that we experience this heavenness to the degree that we become conscious of it, that we work it, that we are on a mission with it, that we partner with that consciousness, that heavenness, that consciousness of the Christos, the Christ consciousness that is here and available to each and every one of us to use for our highest good. You are the light of your world. You know, the Christ consciousness is not exclusive to the man they called Jesus. Yeshua said it himself. He said it if you go into the New Testament, what he purported to say while he was alive in John 14:12, it says, "Truly, truly, I affirm for you, one who believes in the works I do will also do them, and greater, because I'm going to my Father." See ya, Yeshua said. I showed you the way. I gave you the example. There's the principles, there's the tools. Have at it, my friends, have at it. I'm out of here. And what was those principles? What were those principles and tools that Yeshua showed? Well, here's just a few. The power of the divine is within. Love is always the answer. As one thinks in their heart, so shall they be. Radical forgiveness. He taught radical forgiveness is golden. He taught commune with the power within so you can hear, so you can listen for the lessons, the clarity, the guidance that you will need in whatever's going on in your life. He taught be clear with what you want. And when you finally find your life's purpose, or you decide your life's purpose is going to pivot a little bit, your mission or your own dream, whatever those are, take a chance. Take a leap in faith. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in the power that is within you. And stop judging. For as you judge, so will you be judged. And the measure with which you measure will be measured out to you. Don't judge. Don't let those who feel they need to judge you have any effect on you. What they think of you is none of your business, as I say quite often. And finally, one of the things he taught was be in the now, right here, right now, not in the past, especially not in the past, and not even in the future. Be in the now. The future will take care of itself as you are in the now. He said all that. And that's all just part of the Christ consciousness that is there for each and every one of us right here, right now. All we got to do is grab onto it. Paul Selig wrote a book called I Am the Word, a guide to the consciousness of man's self in a transforming time. It's quite a title. Paul Selig is a channel for an energy that he calls Christ consciousness. And here's a quote from this book. And once you bypass the religion, and you understand that the Christ is a consciousness, is a frequency, we talked about frequency a lot last week, is an offering to humankind from the Creator to align to. And then you begin to have a very different experience of understanding who you are. And in that understanding, there's this quickening that happens. This quickening. You are quickened by the Christ consciousness that is within you, that is shining through you. You are enlightened. And thus, in this enlightened state, and you don't have to sit in a lotus position to get there. You have increased wisdom. You have increased intelligence. You are walking that path of love and grace. And you're illuminating not just what's going on in your life, but the world. You are illuminating the world by stepping into your Christ consciousness. We are all on a mission to light up ourselves, to light up our worlds. We are the seed. We are the father to our decided destiny. Yes, we decide our destiny. We are the partners in this universe to manifest what it is we require in our lives, each and every one of us. I want to touch a little bit upon this holiday of Father's Day that we celebrate today. In the newsletter this week, I wrote about the history of Father's Day, how it came up, but more importantly, I ended the article with how fatherhood, like motherhood, is not necessarily a gender-centric celebration. Yes, we want to celebrate our fathers, and I don't mean, of course, to take anything away from the male of the species on Father's Day. I, too, am a father. Actually, a stepfather, technically, but father just the same. And I love my children and my grandchildren, and I celebrate the fathers of my grandchildren. However, I believe fatherhood, like God, is more relational than gendered. It's an energy, a masculine energy, yes, but not necessarily a male energy. I'm going to talk about the difference a little bit. So manifestation starts with the idea. Okay? And the idea is a masculine energy. And that masculine energy, that idea, gets implanted. We implant its word into the creative process. And the creative process is a very feminine energy. And once that is done, it manifests the experience into our life, which is the child of this idea that has been placed in the creative process. In Proverbs 23:7, it says, as a man thinketh in his own heart, so is he. As a person thinks in their heart, in the deepest core of their being, so shall they be in their lives. There's a great book, one of my favorite books, called As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. And here's a quote from that book. He said, mind is the master power that molds and makes. And mankind is mind. And evermore he, she, they takes. Evermore that they take the tool of thought and shaping what they want, they do so through their will, bringing forth 1,000 joys, 1,000 ills, if they so choose. He, she, they thinks in secret, and it comes to pass. Environment, meaning experience, environment is but his, her, their looking glass. I talk about reflection, that experiences are reflections of our thoughts and our beliefs, really. Not every single little thought, but our belief system, our perspective on life. That's what the affirmative incantations that I write are for, to help you expand and upgrade your perspective on life, and thus your beliefs about how life should be, how your life should be, and thus your experiences change per that perspective. Sometimes we need the masculine energy versus the feminine energy. Sometimes we need to be doing versus being, analytical versus intuitive, concrete versus abstract, assertive versus receptive, left-brained versus right-brained, thrusting into life versus receiving from life, organizing versus synthesizing, being logical versus creative, taking risks versus just allowing, being more yang than yin. Sometimes we need to use that masculine energy, not versus, more instead of the feminine energy. But only you can find that balance in your life. Only you can put a light on that harmony. It's a very personal thing to find that harmony between the masculine energy and the feminine energy. On Father's Day, I like to tell this story, and I'm going to tell it again. Some years ago, there was a very hot summer, which this summer may be for too many of us this year. So some years ago, on a hot summer day in South Florida, a little boy decided to go for a swim in the old swimming hole behind his house. And he was thrilled. He was excited. What a great day he was going to have. And so he just flew into that water, not realizing that as he swam towards the middle of the lake, it is South Florida, an alligator was swimming towards the shore. And his father noticed this, and he ran towards the water, yelling to his son as loudly as he could. And hearing his voice, the little boy became alarmed and just made a U-turn to swim to his father to see what was going on or to get out of the danger. He wasn't quite sure what was happening, but it was too late. And just as he reached his father, the alligator reached him. And from the dock, his father grabbed his little boy by the arms just as the alligator was grabbing the little boy by his legs. And that became an incredible tug of war between the two. Now, the alligator was much stronger than the father, but the father was just, of course, too passionate to let go. And a farmer happened to be driving by and heard the screams and the commotion, and he raced from his truck and he took aim and he shot the alligator. Now, remarkably, weeks and weeks later in the hospital, the little boy did survive. And a newspaper reporter who interviewed the little boy after this trauma asked if he would show the scars. And the little boy lifted his pant legs and showed that his legs were scarred by the vicious attack from the alligator. But then, before the reporter could continue with any questions, he said, with obvious pride, he said, "Yeah, but look at my arms." And he lifted up his sleeves. "I have great scars on my arms too." And there were these deep scratches. The reporter could see these deep scratches where his father's fingernails had dug into the little boy's flesh in his passion to save his son. And the little boy said to the reporter, "I have them because my dad wouldn't let go." Like the father was for that little boy, whatever is going on in your life, remember that the divine is always there, unconditionally, to support you, to love you, to protect you, to guide you, to remind you of the power that dwells within you right now. Nothing needs to be added. It's there right now. It's the light that illuminates the path of your highest and best self. And you can choose to lock it out. But it's always there. It's always waiting. Like a good father. Like a good mother. So on Father's Day, Mother's Day, Grandfather's Day, or any other day, that love, that divine intelligence is always there. It matters not if it's a holiday or just any old day. So today we may honor the fathers in our life, and I do. But so too we honor, hone, harness, and celebrate the mature, enlightened, masculine energy that is in us all. The active force that seeks truth and freedom and self-sovereignty in our lives and is responsible for order, structure, passion, willpower, and courage in our lives. With the integration of it balancing our spiritual awakening, the integration of this masculine energy with the divine feminine, it becomes a sacred marriage of compassion and passion melding together. You, my friends, are your warrior. You are the master of self-discipline. You see things clearly and objectively because of these energies that are in a sacred marriage together. You are confidence. And you know when to take action, when you allow this balance of this masculine energy and this divine feminine energy to inform you, to love you, to inspire you. You, my friends, are the light of your world. Turn it on. Thank you so much. Namaste.